Hi and welcome there, it's Ruth back again, just to finish off some of the cards that I started cutting up the other day and just show you kind of how the finished card comes together, because I know a lot of you do watch me do the one sheet wonders and then probably think, well, what on earth does she do with them? More often than not they sit in a box somewhere until I'm ready to make up some cards. And or like last night, I wanted to show you how I did that, so I started cutting them up, and then today I'm going to be finishing them off. So as you can see here, I've already gone ahead and cut up some little bits and pieces ready to put it all together. To make sure I've got my glue at hand as well, and some dimensionals, so I've got those. And if you want to add some extra little embellishments like, you know, diamantes, gems, that kind of pretty things like that, then yeah, grab those as well. Now I'm generally, so that my brain doesn't kind of explode with thinking about lots of different colours, I try and use the colours that I've already used in the stamping. It kind of just makes life a bit easier if you go with that colour scheme that you've already started. So hello everybody, welcome. I know again this is a little bit earlier for me, as I'm not sure if I'm coming on later this evening because depending on whether my kids want to watch it, the National Theatre are doing putting on their filmed performances of various shows, and they're doing Treasure Island tonight on YouTube at 7 o'clock. So I'm not sure if I'll be watching that or not. Okay, so I want to run through what I have done so that you can replicate this if you would like, or that you would certainly at least have an idea of how to do the cutting up and so forth. So now, because obviously measurements are slightly different in America, you're going to have to figure out how to fit this into your cardstock. But basically what I've done is cut and scored the A4 card so that I could get one card out of one of our pieces of cardstock. So if I just show you that on a contrasting piece of card here, so there we go, that's the big piece of card, and I have cut down my piece here. So our cardstock is 21 centimeters wide, so I've just left that as it is, then scored at 10 centimeters and then cut it at 20 centimeters. So that leaves this tiny portion here which is just under 10 centimeters. Okay, now that tiny portion I have then trimmed down to 9.5 centimeters, which leaves this tiny slither here, and I've cut off 0.5 centimeter off the edge. And the reason I have done that is because then either you can use that on the same coloured card if you want to, but I will show it to you on a contrasting one so that you can see. That then can become your matting layer, ready to put your stamped layer onto, so you get this beautiful kind of double matting effect. Alright, so that's kind of the measurements that I tend to go with. So I don't know if that's easier, I can write it down on a piece of paper. Now, for those of you in the States, and if you just remind me what your measurements for your cardstock is, we can maybe figure it out together so that I can write the equivalent-ish of what you would do down. So I'm just going to draw a little diagram here. So this is 10 centimeters, 10 centimeters, and then this measurement is 21. And then we cut this one down to 9.5, oops, by 20.5 centimeters along there. Okay, so just remind me, in the States yours measures, is it 8.5 by 11? Is that correct? Someone give me a yes. And if I just change my grid paper, I will 8.5 by 11. Thank you, guys. I should have it written in big writing in front of me so that I don't have to keep asking. But right, so there's the 11. There's the 8.5. Right, so let's figure this out together for you guys in the States, because I know that I do have a lot of viewers from there, and I know you'd appreciate this measurement. So let's figure this out. Now, the only problem is, you see, that's much wider than we are used to. What would you call your size of envelope that would fit a third of this? Do you have one? Now, in the UK, we call it a DL size. That's the size that I've created for this. That's the envelope size that you'll need to put this in. So what do you call an envelope that would be a third of this? So let's have a think. So it would be 12, 4, I don't know. So call that 3.5, I guess. 3.5. Yeah, so call that about 3.5. You do have an envelope. What's it called, Cindy? Just so that you guys can. Now, theoretically, what do I go to there? What would we be left with here? Oh, yes, we would. Business envelope. Right, okay. So I'll put that here. So we'll say business envelope. I know, let me quickly Google it just to check the sizing of it. And then we'll get ahead. Sorry, I perhaps should have done this earlier, but it's nice to do it with you guys because I can double check. Business envelope size. They measure 4 1/8 by 9.5. Fantastic. Right, so 4 1/8 by 9.5. That will definitely fit in. Definitely. Right, let's do this measurement then for my friends over the pond. Right, so I have figured you can score. Sorry, I should do this a dash line. Dash lines mean score. Cut there. So if you score at 3 3/4 and then cut at 7.5. So score, cut at 7.5. So this measurement here is 7.5. And then this measurement here is 3 3/4. That leaves you 3.5 inches, which is perfect. So you don't actually have to do any more cutting. We do in the UK, but you don't have to do any more cutting. And so we will then just need to cut off 1/4 inch off here. And so then you just end up with your matting layer perfectly will fit onto there. All right, so there we go, guys in America. So if you want to either take a screenshot of that or jot it down or whatever, you score at 3 3/4, cut at 7.5, and then cut off 1/4 inch there, and you end up with your matting layer like we do in the UK. For us in the UK, like I said before, it's 10 centimetres, so 20 centimetres across, and then cut it off at 9.5 centimetres, and then cut off a little 1/2 centimetre there, and that's how we get our layers. Right, enough of that. That's how you get your bases. So because I've got the 3 panels out of the 1 sheet of A4, which incidentally, now I haven't talked to you about the size panel you need to cut. So basically you just take off 1/4 inch off this whole section here. Oh, actually, no, hold on. I've already taken up. Yeah, no, that's right. Right, so take off 1/4 inch off here. Your matting layer will sit in between. So cut your stamped pieces at 3 1/4 inches by 8 inches. Oh, that's easy to remember, isn't it? All right. So your matting layer needs to be, sorry, your stamped layer needs to be 3 1/4 by 8 inches. If you've got any other questions, if you've got questions on that, please just message and I'll try and answer them. Right, so we have got yellow, pink and blue. We've got Pineapple Punch, Rococo Rose and Seaside Spray. Now, if you're watching this in 2020, we're about to say goodbye to Pineapple Punch, but we still do have Rococo Rose and Seaside Spray. But if you're watching this beyond 2021, then we won't have these colours at all. We'll have something completely different. However, the principle is still the same. So we've got then our matting layers. And now this is the fun bit, because you can decide, do I want contrasting? Do I want complementary? Not that there are many complementary colours here that we can... or do we want the same? So that's up to you. That's the kind of bit of fun in terms of seeing how the different colours line up with each other and what colour brings out what. Okay, so I'm just going to just stick with that, because otherwise I'll be all day playing around with what I can and can't do. Right, so then you get your bits and pieces that you've cut out. Now, I've already cut out the word friend from the well-written dies. I've already cut out a few leaves from the frosted bouquet die set. And I have also cut out from the... got to stop saying, from the... Oh, I had it in my hand a minute ago. Oh, it's right in front of me. The Stitched So Sweetly dies. Can you see what I've done? Look, I got a hole in it. So I've not wasted my cardstock. I've actually cut out some of that, used some of this already. Now that I went and used a plate that's dented. I'm just going to shut the door because my children are making very loud noises. Right, sorry, the joys of going live when your children are playing computer games. So yeah, unfortunately, I've got a bit of a dent in that. So I've learnt my lesson. Don't use a beaten up plate. Little tip, if you can get hold of one of these self-healing mats, these are brilliant because they don't tend to get as damaged. So I use that to cut out some of my dies. Right, hello everybody. Sorry, I've not stopped for breath. Hello. I'll say a quick hello to everybody. Thank you so much for joining me. Hi Christine, Wanda, Renee, Steffi, Martina, Kathleen, Karen, Glenda. Oh, Glenda, who you knew. Hello, welcome. Vanessa, Tina, Cindy, Donnie, Wanda, oh, I've already said that. Sheila, Tammy, Jenny, Sandra, Gail, Joyce, Kuroiwa. Have I said that right? So now that, again, this is like the fun bit. You can play with your layouts. We've got this one here for later. Oh, we've got these ones here. Actually, I think I wanted that one on there and then that one on there. And then I've got the word friend here that's going to go on there. And so I'm looking at this and thinking, where have I not got too many flowers? Because I don't really want to cover up my nice stamping that I did too much. So I'm thinking, you know, maybe there. And then I've got these beautiful leaves, which I think could benefit from just a little extra twiddle. Just, you know, get some shape into there. Now I know they do probably go a little bit flat after a while, but now I don't know if I want these protruding too far out. I might cut these up. That's the great thing about these leaves. You can cut them and manipulate them. Yes, I used my self-healing mat on top of my sandwich. Yes, you're correct. So look, we can cut into this like that. Cut that out. Make it work for you. Don't I say that all the time? make it work for you. There we go. Oh, that's quite pretty. Yeah, see, I think that's a bit too long because I don't really want to cover up too much of this pretty design that we've stamped. So just on the top, yeah, just on the top, I use the precision plate underneath. I know you're probably not meant to use the precision plate for the frameless, more, you know, framed dies, but I tend to like using the precision plate because it's so flat. I love it. Okay, and then I also cut out some of these, and again, you know, make them work for you. You don't have to use them as they come out the die. You know, use them how you want to use them. And if you're like me and, you know, I'm on Pinterest a lot, or I'm getting inspiration from other demonstrators, and, you know, I tend to focus my looking for inspiration around Stampin' Up! Products. So I get to see a lot of Stampin' Up! Product, a lot of days, a lot of hours spent looking at different ideas or thinking about different ideas. And once you've seen the same products being used over and over again, it can, for me, I know not necessarily for you, but for me it can get a bit boring, and I like to just make it look a bit different so that people go, where's that from? I like that. So, right, I think that's quite pretty, really. So let's have a think of how we're going to stick this together. So I think glue is probably the best thing for that first top layer, for getting the friend onto there. So we will do that first. Hello, Ivy. It looks a little bit like bananas. You're quite right, Jenny. Yes, thank you. I'm never going to be able to see it that way again. Another way again. Thank you. Sorry for my messy grid paper. I was re-inking some of my ink pads earlier, and I was on a phone call at the time, you know, video call, and I went and inked terracotta tile ink onto lovely lipstick. Can you believe that? On a lovely lipstick ink pad. So fortunately I had a cloth and I quickly wiped it off and re-inked it with lovely lipstick. So over the next few weeks you may notice that my lovely lipstick has taken on a little terracotta hue, but there we go. These things do happen. So Ivy, are you new to my live? I may have welcomed you before. I don't know if I have. Right, I've lost the eye out of friend. Oh, no, I found it again. I don't believe it. Actually found it. Right, let's see if I can get this on. I was going to just stick a gem on it, and if I couldn't find it. But let's see if I can get this on. There we go. Oh, quite impressed with myself there. Right, now this one, that all needs to be stuck down. So we'll do that. Yeah, this is my first card I'm working on, so don't worry, you've not missed much. I've already done some of the pre-cutting. I didn't do that live for you guys. That's the boring bit, isn't it? Right, I'll pop that there. Oh, I haven't stuck that down yet, so I shouldn't use that as a guide. I'm just going to line up this piece of paper with my grid paper. I find when things are lined up and straight, it's a bit easier for your brain to kind of go, yes, that's meant to be there, and so on and so forth. Right. Titles are the bane of my existence. The dot in there. Tittles, not titles. Tittles, sorry. Yes, the tittles. I forgot that's what they were called. Jots. Is it called jots and tittles? Right, let's have, I'm going to be thoughtful about this. I'm going to put dimensionals there like that, there like that, so that I can still slip in some of these leaves underneath. Yeah, Tammy, it's going to get covered up, my darling. The reason I put it that way round is because I damaged it a little bit when I was cutting it out this, and I think I just wanted the damaged bit to be at the bottom. So right, so this is going to get covered up like that. Oops. And then I've got to get these stuck in. So let's get some of these smaller dimensionals, because I've got a feeling this would actually quite happily sit. Oh, actually a big one would happily sit on there. Look, I'm going to cover that up there. Pop that in. See? There we go. And then I'm going to pop that there. Cut that off because that's going underneath, so we won't see that. And then just slip that underneath like that. There we go. No mucking around with lots of sticky fingers and all that business. I think the only one I might put some glue on is this one, just to pop that underneath there like that. So just going to put a little bit. You have, Ivy. Oh, well, welcome again anyway. I'm trying to remember people's names as they come on. So there we go. No, it's not late. It's 10 to 5 here in the UK. Not too late at all. I should go and start cooking for my children and husband in a minute, but I wanted to get on here a bit earlier today. Right, there we go. So let's do the same again over on this side. So big dimensional, because it can be hidden. Pop that under there like that. Small dimensional on this one. Again, it's going to be hidden, so it doesn't matter that you've got a bit showing there. Just a gentle lift up. And I quite like sometimes these leaves coming just over there. Is that going to go in okay? Yep. How am I feeling? I'm feeling great, thank you, Tammy. Much recovered from a couple of weeks ago, and joy of joys, I could smell mint this morning. I was in the garden, and I had neglected to water some of my pot that's got mint in it, and so yesterday I just drowned it with water in the hope that it would revive. I think I'm too late. I think I've killed it, but the leaves are sort of still there and drying, and I squashed one of the leaves between my fingers, and I put it to my nose, and I was like, oh, I can smell the mint. So I'm really happy, because my smell hasn't returned quite. So you've put me on the TV, and you've got your coffee, and the sun is beautiful. All is right with the world. Oh, that's lovely, Cindy. It's the Ruth show on the telly. Right, stick that down carefully. The great thing about Tombow is that you've got a bit of wiggle room. Ooh, oh, come on, she says. Actually, you know what? I think I'm going to just cut down that edge, because I've got a feeling I've got this measurement wrong. I'm just aware I've got glue over this section here, and I don't really want it sticking to my trimmer. So I'm just going to pop that in like that. Sorry, I know this is like an absolute mess, and I don't know what I'm doing, but I really do. I didn't want to get glue on it, so I'm just going to give that a quick swipe. There we go. And then we'll bring in this one. Get rid of that mess. And then we'll put some more glue on here. I'm going to remeasure my measurements, because I'm not sure I have got that quite right. Oh, I've got something on there. I'm just going to do that. Oh, you're on your way to get your router fixed. Yay. Brilliant, Nydia. Oh, you just had a frost, have you? Ooh. That's Gail. Gail's had frost. Okay, one done. There we go. Right, so we go yellow and pink this time. Let me just double check my measurements. I'm not entirely happy with them. So, of course, 21 centimetres. So this should be 20 and a half. Yes. And then that should be 20. That's just under 20. That's my problem. Okay. It's not that I cut it wrong. It's not that my measurements in my head were correct. It's just that I cut it wrong. Okay. I can live with that. So we're going for yellow and pink this time. So let's see. I got the different bits and pieces. I've lost one of the. I think I've lost one of my labels. Oh no, I haven't. So I've got to do it that way around, haven't I? So that's yellow and pink, right? Right, I've got blue leaves for that one. So I have cut out some green leaves from the Call Me Clover. And because I only used it second generation on here, it's just a very pale thing here. I'm just going to pop that under there because that's a bit distracting, isn't it, that colour? And let's decide how we're going to have this. I think possibly like that. And I'm wondering whether to go for this area. No. I think, I wonder whether to... Oh, that one might be better. That one has a natural spacing there, doesn't it? Right, I was going to put some of these lovely Call Me Clover leaves under here, like so. And then we also have Friend cut out in green. This set is from the Wild Flower, the To a Wild Rose. You know the dies that match To a Wild Rose? So I can grab it. That one? Wild Rose dies, that's what they're called. So they're the leaves. I mean, this one also has labels, and it has a really pretty thing there. So if you don't have the Stitch Sweetly labels dies, there are plenty of other sets that have them in it. So. Oh, was that my husband, Beth? It might have been my husband reading poems. My accent changes depending who I talk to. So sometimes it's rather posh, and then Karen. Well, have a look to see what you might have got something already, similar already. Yeah, so okay, I think this one's fairly simple. I don't think it needs much more. If anything, I'm wondering whether to take out the yellow. I'm wondering if having the yellow and the pink is a bit distracting. I think I'm just going to do that one. Okay, so same again, just a tiny little bit of glue on the word die because it's so fine. Yeah, people who hear my husband preach, they comment on the tone of his voice and how soothing it is. Okay, so same again. Oh, got 2 on there by accident. I wonder if I can get away with 4 on here. No, Gail, unfortunately you can't. That offer has finished now. It finished at the end of March. But it could be that the trimmer does make it into the main catalogue. So we're waiting to see. We've only got a few more days. And us demonstrators will be able to tell you whether or not it's made it into the main catalogue. I hope it does, because it's such a nifty little thing. Do you guys use the word nifty in the States? Hi, Gina. Yeah, sorry, yeah, you're correct, Beth. Yeah, you can still get, in the UK it's £130 for £99. In the States it's $125. Beth's in the know. She's a demonstrator. Oh, you haven't heard that word in a long time. Nifty. I find it fascinating how even though people can come from countries that so-called speak the same language, so I'm talking about obviously the United States, Britain and Australia, New Zealand and those territories, there are certain words. Now there's dialect and then there's accent, but there are certain words that are more prevalent in certain places. Obviously there are some words that have developed and are completely unique to some regions, I get that, but there are also words that it's all in our common dictionaries, but yet we just tend to use certain ones more than others. What this set, the roses are from Beautiful Friendship, Gail. Yes, absolutely, Beth. Yeah, and if you're Bronze Elite, you get a higher percentage as well. Yeah, it's Rococo Rose with a little bit of terracotta tile in the centre of them. I stamped it the other day, so if you want to see me actually stamping it, I will put a link to the video where I stamped this one, and then you'll be able to see. Now, the last 2 videos that I've done before this one, if you want to nominate someone in the UK to receive a card from me, you can do that, comment on those videos. And I'm compiling a list of people who've been nominated. And if there are loads and loads, I'll have to draw names out of a hat. But if they're not too many, I will send a card to everybody. So if you guys are in the States and you have a friend who you'd like to nominate to get a card from me, then please. You don't necessarily have to say their name, but just say, I nominate a person, and then I will add you to the drawing on Friday, tomorrow. Oh, it's my wedding anniversary tomorrow. 21 years. Right, so I've got pink one left of these. So this is either a DL size card if you're in the UK, or a business size. It would fit a business size envelope apparently. So if you want the measurements, then just after the video is finished, then if you scroll back, I give detailed measurements of the two sizes, the American and the British sizing. I'll see what it looks like with the pink. See which one. And I think I wanted to have the blue coming from the blue, not the pink. Thank you, Beth. I better make him a card, hadn't I? He said to me this morning, he said, you haven't bought me a present, have you? And I went, no. When would we have bought a present for each other? But I said to him, the Phantom of the Opera is going to be on. So if you're a fan of Phantom of the Opera, it's going to be available in the UK for 24 hours. In America, it's going to be available for 48. And it's a live recording of the, I presume it's a Broadway or West End version. I don't know. I haven't looked into the details so much. But anyway, it's on tomorrow night. So I said to my husband, well, that's what we're going to be watching. I'm not sure if he's a fan. Maybe this will be a make or break. Dearie me. Right, I think I'm still going to keep starting with the top layer first. So let's get this word on and then... Oh, 26 years. Oh, congratulations. But in October. Lovely. We like to watch BBC detective programmes. So I'll just have to Google up some of the phrases. Oh, I bet you do. What detective shows do you like? Yeah, was it, Cindy, was it your Facebook that I saw it on? I think it was yours that I saw it on. We've been together... Where are we? When did we get together? 95 or 96? We'll say 96, I think. So what's that? 96. So that's 24 years. Right, let's pop some of these. Now, I'm going to do my nifty trick. I just pop the dimensionals under a leaf. Okay. Oh, now I need to stick this down first. That would help. Oh, you've seen it live. Ah, I've never got round to seeing it live in the theatre. I used to borrow the record. That shows how old I am. I used to borrow the record from my local library and sit and listen to it for hours and hours. And then I bought the sheet music for it. And oh my goodness, I can't make those high notes that Sarah Brightman hit, but there we go. But I love some of the, I think I like the prettier songs the best. You know, wishing you were somehow here with me. That one. Dee, 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 dee. And music of the night and all that kind of thing. Funny, Gina. Oh, I'm sure. Yeah, I did costume design at university, so that's one of my modules. So yes, I appreciate costumes. I'm a bit of a costume person. I rewatch films for their costumes sometimes. Like that latest version of, is it Snow White with Julia Roberts? The person who designed those costumes was a Japanese costume designer, and she's passed away since. And she did the costumes for Dracula by, oh, the one with Gary Oldman. Is it Kurosawa? I think her name is. I like that. Very subtle. Gina, I started asking for hazard pay on yeah. I prefer Joshua and his Technicolor Dreamcoat. Joshua? Do you mean Joseph? I'm sure Joshua would have loved to have a Technicolor Dreamcoat. Oh, Hinterland! Cindy, Hinterland is filmed in Aberystwyth, where I went to university. So I love watching Hinterland because it's got so many places in it that I remember from my uni days. And in the first series, a friend of mine's daughter's in it, because she was studying drama there at the time. I did theatre, film and television in Aberystwyth. And, oh dear, I'm going to have to move that around. And she was also studying the same course, obviously many years later. And she got a cameo role in Hinterland. So, yeah, it's very Welsh. You hear quite a little bit of Welsh spoken in Hinterland. If you like some of the Scandi dramas, like, have you seen The Killing? And The Bridge? Is it The Killing or is it The Bridge? I think it's The Bridge. It's quite dark, you know, so Hinterland is sort of a bit like that. Is it? Yeah. Ha! Thank you, Beth. Yeah, I studied art at A-level and then went to do theatre, film and television. I did enjoy acting, but it wasn't really an area I really wanted to pursue. So I stuck with more design. Right, now I've got to try and find the eye dots, the tittles. So I found the tittle for the pink tittle. It sounds really rude, doesn't it? It's not, honestly. It's actually a word which I've been reminded by today. Reminded of, sorry, not reminded by. Reminded by somebody on here what that word is. There we go. Although I fancy doing a little gem. Let's see if I've got a green gem that can go on here. I wonder, I don't think I'm going to have a gem that colour, you know. Oh, I might just have in... I do. I forgot that Gumball Green. Not Gumball Green. Call Me Clover. That was an old colour. Right. Look. There we go. Perffaith, as they say here in Wales. Yes, I've not seen Wicked. I have friends that have, and it's very popular, isn't it? I suppose I'm just not really into sort of witches and things and that kind of thing. And Rocky Horror Show, I've never seen Rocky Horror Show, but when I was at university, every Halloween, oh my goodness, people were dressed in Rocky Horror Show outfits. Yeah, it was quite bizarre. It was very popular. Jason Donovan, especially for you. Oh, good old Jason. Jason and Kylie. I wanna let you know, I feel something, something, something. Can't remember the words. Ah, Cindy. There we go. I love the blue. Oh, the blue of this one. I feel this needs a few little Eugenie Watsits. Oh, I have some little gold ones. Oh, I have stars. Do you think stars would be inappropriate? Shall we just go for it? Why not? We'll let our hair down during lockdown. Put some stars on a card. Let's do something a bit raucous. Hi, Omaria, or is it Omera Rivera? Welcome. Lovely to have you with us. Puerto Rico. Puerto Rico in the house. Right. Oh dear, Cindy. Was that after watching my kids cut their hair? I can't decide which is my favourite. Oh, you don't need to decide. I won't make you today. Take care, Sandra. Nice to see you. Right, I've got a little bit of glue on here, so I'm just going to get my special glue rubber. Get it off. There we go. That's better. Right, so 1, 2, 3. Oh, I've got some little pineapple punch little things here. Oh, gosh, that's a bit scary, Wanda. Does he usually? Does he need a vet? What did Ivy say? I missed that one. About Jason. Right, there we go. All done, I think. Okay, so you have seen me finishing off putting together some cards that are chopped up one sheet wonders. Oh, sorry, Wanda. Oh dear. So cut out your favourite frames, cut out your favourite leaves, and just add a little bit of extra pizzazz to your one sheet wonders, stamped one sheet wonders. A few little dots of embellishments. And there you have it, some pretty cards ready to go. So if I pop them there like that, you can tell me which one. You don't have to choose the one you prefer, but if you do have one that you'd like to say, that's fine. Right, lovely to see you all. As I said, I'm not sure if I'm going to come back later because I want to watch the National Theatre production of Treasure Island, and that's on at 7 o'clock here in the UK. So I'll see how late that is. And then, but I'll be back definitely tomorrow. So now you've given me some good ideas. I was just in the process of finishing some cards. Brilliant, there we go. I hope that helps. I know you may have seen me use similar techniques before, but you know what? They work, so we go with them. So, yes, lots of love, Wanda. Hope give that doggy lots of cuddles. So, I think I might just take a picture like that, actually, for my screenshot. What do you think? Ta-da. For my thumbnail, not screenshot. What am I on about? Actually, while you're all on here, because you're some of my, what's the word, loyalist followers, what if you were looking for someone to watch, you know the thumbnails that I have of my videos, which are the ones that are most eye-catching? Are they the ones with like big pictures of what I've done, or do you like having descriptions and words in the thumbnail? Because various YouTube sort of advisors say, you know, make sure you've got lots of big bold words, but I also find that if the graphic is really pretty, then people will come to you. So yes, you're my captive audience. I've got you here. On this one, Ivy, I use Beautiful Friendship, To a Wild Rose, and Snowfront. So I know what, I will do it right now. I will get you the link of the video that I did where I stamped this one and post it on there for you. What night was it? Just checking to see what night it was that I did it. No, it wasn't the night before. It might have been yesterday. Sorry, I'm missing comments. I will be with you in a second. It was last night's. Okay, I will share that with you now. Copy link. Go back. Go back. YouTube. Okay, I'll post that now for you, Ivy. Here we go. Paste. Wish the roses hadn't been covered in the last one. Oh, this one. Yeah. Oh, I know what you mean. Lovely little tree. Oh, hi Beverly Pope. Welcome. I only saw the last several minutes, but your cards are so pretty. Thank you. Right, I've just posted the link to the video in which I stamped this paper. So, words are good for search machine optimization. That helps. Yeah, but, Karen, I put there are lots of tag words that I do put in my descriptions. I do make sure I do all that. It's just the pictures, the actual JPEG little pictures, thumbnails that you see. As like, for example, so below my video now there are all these thumbnails, you know, and what, you know, does that, will you be drawn to something that has words on it, or are you drawn to something that has a great big picture, or a combination of both, you know? So over the years, if I show you my channel, I've experimented with different things. So so those are my videos there, and sometimes, you know, I'll do a picture. It used to be when I did less online and maybe videoed things, it would take me hours by the time I did all the graphics for everything. Let me just scroll back far enough. I've tended to stop doing so many graphics and just try and take a really decent photograph. Sorry, I'm going back months and months and months. Here we go. Right, so there's one where it would have lots of words on it, like beautiful friendship. So I don't know. Oh, I don't know. So that's why I'm asking you guys, like, how did you find me? You know, was it via Facebook or was it just searching on YouTube? So if you found me via YouTube, what was it that drew you to my channel? Jenny says, use a larger pic and maybe 2 or 3 words on what it covered, like One Sheet Wonder or using die cuts. Ah, okay. What kind of rubber? It's called a silicone rubber. It's a glue removing rubber. Stampin' Up used to sell it many years ago, but they don't do it anymore. So you can purchase it from your local craft shop or Amazon or eBay. It's just a glue rubber, I think they're called, or silicone glue rubber. And they get a bit manky around the corners. So you can just trim off these manky gluey bits all over your cards, obviously. Not. That wasn't very thought out, was it? Just throw those bits away. They look like boogers. Rubber. I haven't stuck it up my nose, honest. Yeah, very handy dandy little tool, especially with our Tombow, because Tombow's got a little bit of silicone in it. So if it dries somewhere where it's not meant to, you can't just sort of rub it off. You have to use the glue rubber. Or blue tack. There we go. Yep. It was the pictures of the finished cards on YouTube for me. Ah, that's how you found me. Deborah found me through other demos, yes. Cindy, you found me from another demo. Okay. So different people like different things. That's fine. That's fine. Well, thank you. You always give back so much to me. You know, it's an absolute pleasure to share with you guys. And thank you for all your support in many different ways. You know, just giving a thumbs up and sharing what I do, that's just fantastic. So lots of love to you all. Have a great evening, and I will hopefully see you all very soon. Take care for now. Bye.